Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, osia dem yopo.
You are once again welcome to PENDREAM TV, the only channel that brings you the best and latest updates in politics. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, like and also share to other members to watch as well. You can equally leave a comment at the comment section after watching or send us a voice note on our WhatsApp number, which is 0277-128-777. Thank you. Join me listening to a powerful information on our channel today. And it's very powerful and you cannot afford to mix out. Please stay till to the end. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for patronizing us as well. God bless you. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Pulse. This is Joy News, and of course today we've got an explosive, if you like, an exclusive for you. Now if you check the trends on social media, on X Spaces, on Facebook, and of course all the social media platforms, you will see that the most trending issue in Ghana at the moment is the potential, if you like, removal of the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. It's been a matter that's been running for some time now, and until there is final determination on the case against her, we'll continue to discuss the issue in the public domain. Now, today on the program, I've got a guest who knows the ins and outs of the workings of the superior courts of the country. And I'm talking about no mean person, that His Lordship retired Justice Atuguba. And he's my guest on the show today. We're going to look into these matters. We'll also be looking into other legal issues in the country. Remember also that President Mahama will be celebrating 120 days in office, and he will be giving account of what is done so far. We'll pick his mind on the matter. We'll also look at the issue of corruption, the asset declaration. Some people have up until the close of day today to declare their assets, or will be shown the door in the Mahama administration. What his take on these matters. My name is Elton Broby, and of course I'm privileged and delighted to say that we have Justice Retired Atuguba on today's program. Justice, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank
and
you.
It's good to see you. The last time we met, we were sitting upstairs here,
yes.
And so it's good to wish you a happy new year.
Thank you. The same to you.
Right.
And all your people.
And as a devout Catholic, I'm sure that it wasn't easy taking the death of Pope Francis. Any recollections of him?
Oh yeah, it's a very down-to-earth person. Reached out to the people as much as possible, mingled with them, shared their concerns. I think he espoused the cause of the poor and the marginalized. Of course, he ran into some problem area with LGBTQ class people. But that's part of human life.
Right.
He was a lovely person. Vatican has its problems in a human institution, but he did well. And well, I personally think that it's good that his life came to the conclusion after all these years of, dedicated service. He was reputed to have some long, I think he had only one long function or something.
Right.
That was a common rumor.
You're right.
And then that too got affected. So on and off, I mean, it was getting too weak.
Yeah.
So I think the Lord gave him his due rest. He has paid his dues.
And then, according to the Vatican, the conclave will start tomorrow. The cardinals went through their rituals today. They will be in conclave tomorrow, and they will be there until they are able to elect the new pope. Any expectations?
Oh, as for that one, I don't know too much about.
As a Catholic, are you looking forward to any person? We've heard of names like Cardinal Peter Texan. He's a Ghanaian, but the Catholic Bishop Conference say that they pray that the cardinals will be led by the Holy Spirit, and not necessarily because Cardinal Texan is a Ghanaian, and so they are praying for whoever the Holy Spirit will lead them to elect.
That should be the spirit. We are dealing with religion, the Church of God. It's universal. It's not you know, based on ethnic and all these sort of considerations. But of course, if an African meets the criteria, he ought to.
It also be given.
Oh yes, why not?
Okay.
So that it's fair. Otherwise, it's just theoretical.
Okay. Now let's come back home.
Yes.
And I'm sure you have been following the news.
Well, sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes you do.
Not TV, but mostly on the phone, social media.
All right. So the suspended Chief Justice, Gertrude Togono, is on suspension pending the determination of some cases against her. We are told 3 petitions against her. First, let me ask you, is the process fair? As far as you are concerned, the process that she's been taken through, is it fair?
Well, it's a constitutional order in place, and it's being pursued. Unless we are saying the Constitution itself is unfair. If it is, who is to blame? The whole society put it in place. If it's to be amended. And why suddenly these notions of unfairness and so forth? Because it has been there all these years, and the allied provisions have been applied in relation to the former chairperson of the Shiraj,
right,
and the Electoral Commission.
The Electoral Commission.
These are similar processes, and I mean, they were seen as due constitutional processes. So what is so special about this? I don't know. Yeah.
You do not think that the president has erred in any way?
Oh no, except probably at the beginning the impression was that I think she wasn't given copies of the petitions or whatever.
Yes.
But that was done subsequently. And,
but the way and manner in which it was done,
did
the president offend the law by not getting her to understand the issues that were against her before she had the opportunity to respond?
Oh, I don't quite get that, because all that is necessary is to serve her with copies of the petition. And there you see the allegations leveled against you, and then you start your responses, and then in consultation with the Council of State, they put the two together and see whether there's any worthwhile matter to pursue. So I think she herself asked for 7 days.
Right.
But the president gave her 9 days.
Actually 10 days.
10 days. Yeah, so what is unfair there?
The argument here, and if you can help us to understand it, the judiciary is an arm of government.
Yes.
So is the executive and the legislature.
Yeah.
Those who are against what is happening now and they are saying that it is persecution rather than the law at play, say that an attempt by one arm of government, in this case the executive, to remove another arm, the judiciary, is unhealthy for our democracy.
Well, well, yes, separation of powers, but there are checks and balances also. If every arm is self-sufficient, where would the balance come from? It means everybody can be a dictator in his or her field. And there'll be rancor, and who is to hold things in place. The president nominates the Chief Justice in consultation with the Council of State with approval of Parliament. And those are the initial stages. I don't know why. Well, of course, when things happen after legal provisions have been put in place, you now see that maybe some other alternatives could have been pursued. But they are talking strictly of the separation of powers. You find the president is elected, he is the head of the executive, but he can be removed from office by parliament.
Right.
It's a legislative arm. You know, are we saying that that's anything? Now, if you overpower one arm, make it all in all, tyranny is not far away. Yeah, because you can make inroads. Yeah, and people tend to be used to their own terrain.
Right.
And want to enter there, you can naturally meet resistance. So they're saying that the Constitution should have placed the removal in the hands of the judges themselves, or what? I mean,
but is it? I mean, the Constitution is clear under what circumstances a Chief Justice can be removed.
Yes, yes.
And the President in this case is only a conveyor belt.
Yeah, yeah.
But some people on the other side find this offensive because they make reference to comments that were made by some elements of the NDC, including the President, when he said in opposition that there was a need to reset the judiciary. And they see that the reset agenda is what is playing out now. And the first casualty is the Chief Justice, even though finality is just to be brought on her matter.
Yeah, what's wrong with it? If the question is not whether something was said at one time or another, it is the basis of what was said. What is proper and right at any time remains so, you know. So, was it only the President? I think some of you people came here and talked about some of these matters. Was it the President who started calling the Supreme Court unanimous FC on social media?
Yes, exactly.
It was
President Mahama.
Yes. Was he the one who started calling the Supreme Court unanimous FC? Or he was stating a fact of public knowledge? It was a public outcry. And I said here before that the courts belong to the people. And that's where I find trouble with people who get power. Look at the Constitution. Everybody's a trustee on behalf of the people. Article 1, Clause 1. The sovereignty of Ghana resides in the people of Ghana, in whose name and for whose welfare the powers of government are to be exercised in the manner and within the limits laid down in this Constitution. So, no matter who you are, the powers vested in you belong to the people. They are the sovereign power of the country. You are answerable to them. It is for their welfare and interests that the powers have been given to you. You see? And now let's look at 34. Okay. Let's look at 34.1. The directive principles of state policy contained in this chapter shall guide all citizens, Parliament, the President, the Judiciary, the Council of State, the Cabinet, political parties, and other bodies and persons in applying or interpreting this constitution or any other law, and in taking and implementing any policy decisions for the establishment of a just and free society. This is the golden thread that runs through all powers.
Right.
So they are all accountable to the people. And everybody, you know, when you look at the directive principles, I don't need to go through, but they are all designed to obtain the maximum interests and welfare of the people who are the sovereigns of the state. You go to 125, Article 125, Clause 1. Justice emanates from the people and shall be administered in the name of the Republic by the judiciary, which shall be independent and subject only to this Constitution. So, justice emanates from the people, and the judiciary is to administer it for and on their behalf. So they are trustees of that power on behalf of the people. And Clause 1, Article 1, Clause 1 says all powers are to be exercised for the welfare and interests of the people. And so everything in the state belongs to the people. As far as public ownership is concerned. And so are all the institutions of government. And that's why judicial proceedings, even as a constitutional provision and at common law, are to be held in public.
Right.
Only in exceptional cases, they can hold proceedings in camera. Very limited situations. Otherwise,
mostly even at the discretion of the Chief Justice.
Yes, the court is itself. The court sitting on the case, they determine. And now, why do they say the proceedings must be in public? Because the courts belong to the public. And they want the people to be in there and see how justice is dispensed. Whether it's satisfactorily dispensed or unsatisfactorily. And for them to take appropriate remedial actions. That is it.
This particular matter, and I've heard the former Chief Justice of Ayakufu in this process to review our constitution. So he made the Constitutional Review Committee. And she makes the point that the process that is enshrined in the Constitution, the roadmap for the removal of a Chief Justice is unfair. And that is unfair, and that something must be done. Some of us suggested that the threshold is so low that it leaves room for manipulation by an executive president. I don't know what you make of this.
Oh, I don't know what threshold, because when you look at Article 1466 or so, relating to the removal of other Superior Court judges, and then Shiraj, and so forth, allied. I mean, they require a prima facie case, and that's what was imported into the Chief Justice removal process by Ajechum and Attorney General case. And prima facie case is acceptable in the common law world. Even in criminal trials, it obtains. At the close of the case for the prosecution, there's no prima facie case. The accused is to be acquitted. So the formulation, I have not seen the authoritative formulation of prima facie case in relation to constitutional administrative process like this. But ordinarily, I mean, we all should have an idea about what prima facie is. If at first sight, on the plain assessment of the matter, you know, first impressions, obvious impressions that drum up from a situation of evidential, you know, facts. I mean, I don't know what else somebody would like about that. Because the trial itself is different from the initial. Prima facie is meant to, like Ejekchum case explained, it's meant to weed out frivolous petitions. So if a petition on the face of it doesn't hold water, you know, you don't process it.
And it's very interesting that part of, I mean, this whole exercise is supposed to be held in camera. There should be secrecy covering it. Unfortunately, in this case, a lot of the issues that were supposed to be held in secret is already out there in the public, including even the petition seeking the removal of the Chief Justice. Interestingly, some aspect of the petition went to former President Akufo-Addo. The matter was referred to the Council of State. It was dismissed outright. Now, it has found favor with the current president. That is what people think, that this may be politically influenced rather than, you know, establishing a case of impropriety against the Chief Justice.
Well, let's look at it. See, this country, people like to pretend a lot, and that's my problem with Ghanaians. What necessarily shows that what Akufo-Addo did was without politics. What is inherently non-political there? What are the sound reasons that we know that would justify what were the petitions he dealt with? People don't deal with those. I would just, you know, I know how this country operates. I don't move anywhere, but I follow things, you know, and I think about Ghana a lot. I mean, political polarization. Somebody's camp does something, right or wrong, because it's their camp, it's perfect. Another one does it, same thing, even maybe better. Oh, no, everything is wrong. That's what's happening in this country. I tell you plainly, that's my assessment of things. And it doesn't help us. The only good thing is that the ordinary people are beginning to, you know, stand up to their rights, to read through situations and take proper decisions concerning political, you know, actors. That is a saving grace. If it is sustained, you know, that can help, you know. And I mean, all this hula baloo, I don't know. They should have marshaled the facts pertaining to the Akufo-Addo dismissal, the type of petitions, and then we compare with this and see, then we can see our way clear. That hasn't happened. That hasn't happened. And it's difficult to happen until everything is resolved. But Ghana being what it is, everything is supposed to be secret. Actually, the provision, when you read the provision on the proceedings, it gives the impression that it is an actual investigation that should be secret. But the Supreme Court in Ejekchum said it applies from the very beginning.
From the very beginning.
Up to the end.
But in this case, that secrecy that should be expected has been exploited.
Yeah. In what way?
I mean, people are speaking to it, even when the suspended Chief Justice wrote to the President, expressing her unhappiness about the fact that the President had received a petition. It took days, and she was unaware of the content, yet it had been forwarded to the Council of State. She wrote to the President, it got leaked in the media. And so the secrecy that should cover the entire process has been abused in a way that for a lot of people is unacceptable. And that is what gives credence to people's assertion that this may be staged after all.
Even the very first petition under this constitution took the same vein. Even it was more publicized than this. The person who wrote the petition, I think, sent it to the media, all kinds of people. And the court faulted that. And they were saying that everything should be secret from the beginning to the end. And forwarding the petition to the Council of State is in line with the Constitution. But that's what the Constitution directs the President to do, you know. And that's not a leakage. It's part of the constitutional process.
But sometimes when you hear
Yes.
government operatives
Yes.
speak to the matter, is that even when the petition went before the Council of State
Yes.
and they deliberated upon it,
Yeah.
and they came to voting, out of the 31 membership, 30 voted that there's a case for the Chief Justice to answer. The only person who abstained, according to some government appointees, the only person who abstained is her ladyship, Sophia Kufu. And she abstained because of conflict issues. So to the extent that even what was deliberated in camera is now a matter of public discourse.
Yeah, so that's why I said there's a lot of pretense in our national life. How did that happen? This was sent to the council. How did people get to know what happened there? You know, and it just shows that people go about nosing into these things, spying, cannot. The very people complain. I mean, who may be complaining may be those complicit in these acts. I've seen that these petitions, some of the contents have been splashed on social media. And the Chief Justice...
Even the Chief Justice's response?
Yes, yes, was also splashed.
Is it right?
Well, it's not right, but who causes it? Are you saying that is the President who caused these publications, or the Council of State? I mean, you are the media, you can gather that evidence for us. Who caused these leakages? It's the system. Our political system is jaundiced, as you know. People, they spy on each other. You know, that activities leak to each other. I see these things on social media. Who is behind those things? Some of them, they themselves, you know. And in any case, when we talk about these sort of things, I think when the Chief Justice was given the copy, I think she also leaked it to the media or something. The President complained that she
yes, this was the letter she wrote to the President, and even the President complained that even before he got it, it was already in the media.
Yeah, it's not part of the process. Who leaked it? Was it the President? And even, I don't know. You see, these days, I'm afraid of picking my information from the social media, because you can find completely distorted facts. I don't know how people are able to do those things. Let me just give you some example. I saw on social media that on May 5th, I granted an interview to, was it your Joy or some TV station? And I was saying that when the President is removed, when the Speaker is removed, why can't so. May 5th.
The May 5th yesterday.
Yeah. That publication is there. Look at that. It's the kind of thing that happens. And The publications by some of your counterparts. The media does that, you know. And you talk of secrecy. I don't know whether it's true, but I read on social media that the Chief Justice was appealing to certain foreign powers, Canada, UK, US also to
intervene.
Yes. Is that part of the secrecy process?
But in view
and
of
those criticizing, what have they said about that? That's what I hate about this country. You look at one side and fault it. Your side does the same thing. You've seen nothing. It's correct. Nonsense. It's,
but personally, where you sit, do you trust in the credibility of the process in view of all the issues around it?
Oh,
the MPP poured on the streets yesterday.
Yes.
Describing President Mahama as a tyrant, as a dictator who is seeking to, to collapse an arm of government and facilitate, a third term in office.
Now, look, you are a well-informed journalist. You've been following the operations of the government since '92. I mean, will you be impressed by such a statement? How were they when they were in office? How did they perform? Transparently? Neutrally? In the interest of the people? Did they do that? What? This is the kind of thing I just hate. Pure hypocrisy. Apart from hypocrisy, I mean, the exclusion of honesty, of public interest in our political space is very, very troubling. Very troubling. Saying these things before the elections, when on social media it was a common thing, describing the court as
unanimous FC.
Unanimous FC. Was it President Mahama who was doing that? They were in power. When those publications, what steps were they taking? Ken Dapper. What did he say? That's an honest man.
It makes the point that the court should sometimes balance their rulings.
Yes.
In the interest of preserving the security of the country.
Yes, that's an honest man. Are they like that?
But was it right for him to have said so if the court is strictly implementing the law?
Implementing what law? If they were, what was the cause for him to be apprehensive? I mean, was that the first time courts were in existence and performing? I mean, anxiety doesn't just spring from a vacuum. No. You look at the trend. Public perception, unanimous FC. Was it happening or not?
Today there was a unanimous decision in court.
Yes, but that was peripheral. That was, I think, to exclude Bafo-Boni. That was the only issue. But the more important is 3-2. Now look at the empanelments and see if that panel had not been reconstituted. You think it would have come 3-2? I mean, for how long have you not had unanimous until?
And that's why some people have issues with that and say that the repaneling resulted in the decision going against the applicants.
Yes.
If the old panel had sat, they would have affirmed the applicants' relief, seeking that the president, is enchanted from suspending the chief justice.
Now that's troubling. Why are they so sure? Are they the panel? Why are they so sure that should have gone that way? That's the unanimous FC that was playing out, and that should be sustained. That's what they are fighting to sustain, and they are wrong.
But does that feed into the public perception
that
the new addition may be working towards a certain political direction?
Oh, Now, let's look at it this way. You are a journalist. You just take time and go and get the panels on constitutional cases since these people came to power. And when I'm speaking like this, don't think that I'm for anybody.
Right.
I'm not for anybody.
Of course.
If I were to follow political leanings, I was PFP candidate for Pagachana constituency, 79. That's these people now NPP. I should have been. I don't have time for those things. They are not. They don't yield good fruits. That's why I quit politics. Now, so you go, I mean, what is the impression then? So long as Tokonu puts panels that give unanimous decisions in their favor, that is justice, isn't it? But if it is varied, it goes ahead and hey, I mean, that's the scenario. That's the scenario. That's pretentious. It's not even pretentious, it is blatantly, I mean, unacceptable. You can't just see the tide of events. Why is it that? Oh Lord, I'm coming.
Yes.
Even the very events happening, you see that there's a deep political element. Why is the MPP and they are championing this cause like that?
They say they are defending democracy.
That's democracy. Because when she's there, it is okay, unanimous panels always in their favor. That's democracy. That's the democracy they want to entrench. I have seen that scanning through the events in the courts. That is rubbish. That is, I mean, I don't know what word to use. You ordain a dictatorship in place. You have been overthrown through the ballot. Your last citadel is the Chief Justice. You are battling. Hey, if this one falls, we are all out. That is what is happening. That's how I see it. I can be wrong, but that's how I see it.
Then it will appear that our Supreme Court is politicized.
Certainly. Certainly.
But that's not good for a healthy democracy.
Certainly not. And look, the variation of the panel, I would have. Is it? Look, I mean, who didn't vary a panel? There was one, I think it was about, is it, whose case? Opuni or something?
Opuni, yes. At some point there were issues with the panel.
Yes. Wasn't it varied?
Opuni had issues with the trial judge.
Yes.
Raised issues about his affiliation with the MPP.
Yes, yes.
Took the matter even to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
At every stage he lost.
Yes. Yes. And the issue of starting the proceedings afresh, I think eventually landed in the Supreme Court.
Right.
It's a panel of 5. The matter was virtually ripe for decision. She reconstituted the panel, took her 3, and presided herself. Was that not a re-empanelment? The decision went in favor of these people. Didn't they celebrate it? That is sweet for them. This thing has happened, and when you look at it, you know, I'm a bit naive because my life is more of church and these sort of things. Even when I was on the bench, I was more to the church side. At the time of the unanimous FC, what was happening? Bafuboni, Kulendi, Poman, this man who was coming, Tanko. These were fairly senior judges. How often did they get onto constitutional panels? How often? Why was it so? Were they not members of the Supreme Court? Were they not seniors? That's what I'm saying. Please do that research for me. Go and get the empanelments on constitutional cases under Tokun. And you see the trend. Let's put pretense aside. Let's look at what is good for Ghana and get that done. Until that is done, we keep on moving in circles.
At the court, for example, in a matter that the Member of Parliament for Old Trafford brought before the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Even before they went into the injunction application, his lawyer, former Attorney General Godfrey Dam, had raised issues about the presiding judge, the acting CJ, sitting on the panel, and makes the point that the acting CJ taking part in that decision, obviously on the background that he is a beneficiary of the vacancy created by the absence of the Chief Justice, and for that reason it was not going to be fair in terms of the determination of the application he had put before the court. And you think he didn't have a case?
Beneficiary, I mean, I would have liked to see further and better particulars about this claim of
because
he's
now in acting capacity as the Chief Justice. In the event that the suspended Chief Justice is removed, he may likely continue as a substantive Chief Justice. And so a case before him, which borders on the suspended Chief Justice, and he had a decision to make for the position taken by the former Attorney General. He had compromised himself.
Okay, that's...
And that matter was dismissed unanimously anyway.
Well, look at that. That's why I say, let's put pretense aside. And I'm telling you, this country, if we are not able to exercise political poison from our governance system, we'll continue to suffer. Now, let's wait a minute. Before her suspension, when this challenge came, I mean, when the process was commenced for her removal, and Godfrey Dame and others brought suits, injunction. Who empaneled?
The suspended Chief Justice.
She had no interest in her own matter?
But she was not on the panel.
No, but, I mean, look, empaneling involves picking and choosing.
Who to sit?
Yes. And you think she had no interest in that? Huh? Of course, there have been some decisions saying that the Chief Justice is the only person who can empanel her, nobody if she's around. With hindsight, I think that those decisions have to be looked at again.
The paneling?
No, the fact that so long as the Chief Justice is in office, he or she must do the empanelment. Must be looked at again. Because, yes, they quote the provision that makes her the head of administration in the judiciary. But they overlook the introductory was subject to the provisions of this constitution.
Right.
It's not just you are the head of administration. And even if that subject were not there, it will be implied because, as I said, Article 1 and so forth, all powers are to be exercised in the interest and for the welfare of the people. Subject to that. So any step that detracts from that is unconstitutional. Now, so subject to the provisions, one of the provisions, Article 296, I think Clause B, is saying that all powers must be exercised with candor, with transparency, all those things. That should affect the Chief Justice too. Her powers are not free from that article. And Ajechung Dateba, one of the best judges in this country, very brilliant man, he said that the Chief Justice and Parliament power were subject to that provision. And the others agreed with his view. So you see, some of these things, they don't look at them very, very carefully. But it's important. I'll stress some aspect about that before we...
Okay. Let me take you to the Ghana Bar Association.
Yes.
You went for a review,
yes.
A mid-year meeting. You weren't there.
I mean, I'm not a member of the bar.
You are not a member of the Ghana Bar Association. That's interesting. I thought every lawyer is a member of the Bar Association.
It's technically somehow. But retired judges, if you say I'm a member of the bar, I should be entitled to go and practice law again. I'm not.
They came to some...
But technically I am.
Okay, so they came to some resolutions.
Yes.
I mean, some of the matters they discussed, some of them were put to a vote. Now, in a matter relating to the suspension of the Chief Justice, when they voted on it, 47 members of the Bar Association voted against the President's decision to suspend the Chief Justice and demanded that the Chief Justice reinstated, describing the decision to suspend him as unconstitutional. That's the position of the bar. Are they right in coming to such a determination?
Well, let me tell you, I think was it 2015 or thereabouts, the then Chief Justice George Nawood made me to represent at the Law Week celebrations of the University of Ghana. Those days were called faculties. And in my lecture, I made a comment that the Bar Association appeared to be moved to comment on national issues according to their political coloration. Before even we finished the event, what's his name? Frank Davis was in the air, chastising me, so and so and so. Look, these sort of things, me, I'm a different person. I want to emphasize that. I don't have time for pretense. I'm not like that. Whether you are NDC or MPP, if you are right, yes, I'll support it. If you are not, your political color means nothing to me.
So in this case, what is your reading
to
this?
I'm coming. That was 2015. You are when did you become a journalist?
It's been a while.
Yes, follow these things. And you see, that's why sometimes I get angry. You can just see a certain pattern. Bar Association was tough some years ago. Tough.
But not anymore?
Oh. You think they are tough? Are you not in this country? Look at their performance. From, I think, Kufuor's time, they started muting their voices.
And it's because of what exactly?
Oh, they can explain.
Political coloration?
Whatever, but it cannot be anything wholesome. Because the wholesome thing is to be vocal and, proactive. And what they were doing was contrary to that. And since that time, now, when NDC comes to power, hey, you hear them again. These things happen. I'm not creating them.
You think they found their voices because NDC is in power?
Well, I'm not. I'm just scanning the facts as they have occurred. You try to do the same, see whether you would not arrive at the same conclusion I have arrived at.
So is there no value in what they are calling for? That the president's decision is unconstitutional, even though it is only the Supreme Court that can pronounce constitutionality or otherwise subject. But they say that the Chief Justice should be reinstated.
Should be reinstated. Why are you surprised about that? If you look at the pendulum of the what is it? Graph of their functioning. Is it surprising? It's not surprising. And they should know it. And I think they know. They know. In fact, I think originally they came out with some kind of balanced position on the matter.
Their first statement was that they were monitoring.
Yes.
And that as at the time they issued a statement, no law had been broken.
Yes.
And then they went to this media review and they came up with this statement. So describing what is happening was unconstitutional.
What was the law that they now found broken? What was the law? Not enough. I think they were talking about no constitutional instrument to govern the exercise of the discretion. I don't want to comment on that.
So, Your Lordship, no law has been broken as far as you are concerned by the President?
Initially, I think maybe when they did not give a copy of the petition, that could be said to be. But even that is debatable. There are various legal views on this matter. But going by Ajekchum, I think initially they ought to, send a copy. And that was done when she requested for it, before the prima facie case was established. So I don't know.
Then is the reason why the former Attorney General went to court with his client, saying that the President erred in not giving her a copy of that petition before. Now, and then even requested that the entire, in fact, they wanted to enjoin the President from proceeding, and that didn't happen. You think that in terms of law, when an application had been put before a court, the President ought to have, suspended further action on the matter until the determination of the case?
That is the it sometimes happens. I must say that the law on that aspect is not too well settled. Pendency of proceedings. What is the effect? Some say unless a person is injuncted, you can proceed. Even in England, you can find some authority like that. But there was this case of Dombo and Na. There was a deportation case, and then there was no injunction. But the minister went ahead and deported them before they could, and they were summoned for contempt. This argument of, the fact that there was no injunction, Azukrap, they said that it was a contempt. So some do think that unless you are injuncted, so it's a bit of a mix. You see, these things, that's why I have pain in my heart about the affairs of this country. Its action is pending, so you should not have. I think there was a similar thing. There was something. It was the e-levy or something. Injunction application was.
Exactly.
They proceeded. What did these people say about that? What did they say? Is it not the same thing? Nothing at all. It was fine and perfect for them. Now something, everything. This type of life, it's not healthy.
The last time, that was my first time we had an interview in this house.
Yes.
Just at the car park.
Yeah.
And you complained about the parking of the course.
Oh yes.
And when to the extent that some people who were seniors were in appointments.
Yes.
Last week, President Mahama appointed 7 to the Superior Court.
Yes.
Your take on it? Is it
okay?
Is it in the right direction? Are they deserving of the elevation?
Partly, but I won't absorb them completely either. Because you see, when it comes to these things, you look at the nature of the court they are going to, the challenges they will face, their background and suitability. When I was on the bench, after some time, I found out, with these appointments, particularly to the Supreme Court, they should have some from the bar, very distinguished, practitioners,
Right.
upright. Then academia. Some should come from there. And then Court of Appeal,
Right.
the ordinary. You have a balance. I came to the Supreme Court straight from the bar. And so did Sofa Akufu. At our time, they were very saying, oh, these people are not experienced, so and so and so. What has happened when we came there? People don't even take time to know people properly before they just generalize. You know? In saying this Hulabaloo they were raising, was it in 85 or something? I came to the Court of Appeal at that time. It was the highest court. That was the first time I came there. And my case, I looked at it, so this thing, I'm happy I'm going before a very strong court. It will take time, but eventually they will see my point and I'll win my case. And I did. And 2 other subsequent ones. And after the third one, when I was about to leave the panel, it was Sowa, Osewri, and Aban.
Right.
When I was about to say, oh, you wait. So what is it? He said, oh, you should transfer your practice from Bolgatanga to Accra. And I was saying that's what I was not. So you see. Then they explained, we know that if you transfer your practice from Bolga to Accra, your practice will rise. How many lawyers had that commendation in open court? That type of court? Those days, how many lawyers would you meet in the Court of Appeal? Hey, those judges were tough.
Right.
If you didn't have confidence, you would dare not to go there.
Appear before them.
Yes. I'm telling you. They did that in open court. About how many lawyers have had that kind of commendation before such? But, you know, I was in Bolga doing my practice quietly. Oh, this man from there, what has he?
So back to the commendations.
Yeah, I'm coming. As I said, they ought, see, because the Supreme Court is basically a constitutional court. We don't have it as South Africa, they have constitutional court. But the most important part of the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court is constitutional. They have exclusive jurisdiction in the interpretation and enforcement of the Constitution. And when any issue relating to that arises, they have to suspend the procedure and refer to. See, that's a very important segment. As for the ordinary litigations, I mean, there's nothing so easy about constitutional law, administrative law. These are more jurisprudential. They are not things that have been commonly and often litigated, like matters of contract, land, all these things. So the principles are a bit obscure, a bit still evolving. And so the academics, they are good at that because they are research people. So they can do that. Dateba was an academic. Modibo Kran was an academic. Even Chum, he was an academic, but he practiced for long. But these academics that were brought, they distinguished themselves.
Okay.
And Kluge, he was there for 9 months or so, but the law reports bear his eloquent judgments, so up to date, are being cited.
So you find no problem with the new appointments?
No, I find a problem in that you don't have people from the bar and academia. I want that court to be balanced, as I've explained.
You want that mix?
Yes, because it has worked well.
All right.
Yes, it has worked well.
My guess is His Lordship William Atuguba is a retired Supreme Court judge, and we are looking at a number of issues. We've been focusing more on the suspended Chief Justice and the matters around it. We'll take a short break here on it, but when we return, we'll go into some governance matters, the issue of asset declaration and code of conduct that President Mahama launched yesterday to guide the conduct of his appointees when we return from this short break. You're welcome back. My guest is His Lordship William Atuguba, a retired Supreme Court judge. Your Lordship, you're welcome back. So you still have issues with the appointments?
Well,
Court.
what I want to add is that, you know, when I don't know the criteria politicians use to do their things, and I don't get involved with them, but sitting afar, look, you are trying to staff the Supreme Court. You look at the stature of that court, the legal challenges that come up and affect the destiny of the country. Constitutional issues can be very difficult, very, very difficult. And that's why I was talking of a mix. When you just start as magistrate, you go to circuit court, high court, court of appeal. How many constitutional matters do you deal with? Our best fundamental human rights. And these are nothing really new. Common law covers most of them. Tort and all those things. But constitutional actions is quite a unique terrain.
You think the standard is being lowered?
Well, I don't know the background of these judges.
The individuals?
No. But what I want to say is that, yes, seniority when it's bypassed is wrong, but it's not just raw seniority. Competence seniority when bypassed is bad, but not just seniority for seniority's sake. No, that doesn't, you know, serve the country well.
Is it possible there could be conflicts among the judges because of the manner in which they were appointed? Some got appointed under this regime and that regime. I mean, you've been there before. Is it possible they're able to put aside who appointed who and go strictly according to the reason why they are there?
Well, they ought to be able to do that. And every judge upon appointment professes to do that. Whether in fact it transpires is another thing. You know the oaths as well.
But you've been there before.
Yes.
Did you sense that there's that kind of I belong to this side?
Oh, surely. Why not? Why not? But it is the accentuation of it. It was there. I'll tell you, I was, when I came, and I can give you a crude example. When I got there, after some time, I started suggesting that because we are judges and the judiciary should be very independent and trustworthy, we shouldn't even vote.
In national elections?
Yes. I was surprised. Oh, it's a fundamental, you must vote on it. After some time, I saw that, hey, some took these things. So clear, I mean, it was there. I mean, anybody who tells you it wasn't there is telling lies. I'm telling you.
The affiliation is there.
Oh, it was there.
Does it
but
influence
not,
the work?
No, that's what I'm saying is the accentuation. You know, if a matter was 50-50, you could imagine that some who are inclined to they will go listen. But when it was clear, I mean, it was difficult for the court to be swayed, of course. Okay. Yeah, that principle was there.
We are moving away, but let me just ask you a quick question. 8 years of the Akufo-Addo administration, your sum up of the way things went in this country.
Oh, I've spoken several times on these matters. But the best summary is the reaction of the public.
The outcome of the last election?
Yes, that's the best summary. Have you seen that before? Have you seen that kind of civic uprising before? That's the best summary.
Now, President Mahama is in town. Tomorrow he will celebrate 120 days in office. He says he committed to a social
let me tell you about the appointments. I want to give you concrete examples.
Right.
You see, there are some judges. If you look at the Court of Appeal, there's a judge there, Dr. I think Mrs. Anchu Chede or something. I met her briefly when I was chairing the Independent Examinations Committee.
Right.
And from that briefing, I could see that she's very brilliant. I think she said she was called to the bar in 1995 or so.
That's a long time ago.
30 years. I was lecturing, I think, in Legon, law, and practicing at the same time. Such a person, I mean, you don't, even if she's junior, you look at
the quality.
Yes. And you can bring her to Supreme Court over and above others. That's why I'm saying it's not raw seniority.
Right.
It is the quality, particularly for Supreme Court. It's a very challenging place. And so that is an example. I think there's another judge there, Osetutu. He went there not long ago, but it's a solid material.
Okay.
He and another judge, Achibonga, they were sent to the Gambia when they asked for judges from Ghana. You think they were selected randomly?
No, I'm told it was based on something.
Yes. Now, I understand their Chief Justice, they recommended them highly for promotion. They came back. Osetutu is in the Court of Appeal, but Chibunga still in the High Court.
Okay.
Whereas I accounted for that. These are the things I can't stomach. I don't stomach those things.
So
now the two of them, I mean, are equally good and deserving. Even Achibonga can go to Supreme Court from High Court. I'm telling you. So you look at the quality, the merit. You know, Taylor went to Supreme Court from High Court. Nobody had questions about that. Yes. This, I want to build a sound country. You apply soundness to the decisions you are making in every important sector of the administration of the country. Nothing outside merit, integrity. These are the things. So I don't know too much about
the new nominees.
No, well, Sir Dennis been there for long. It's all right. My first senior Subaru, but upon retire, I've not followed. But I know Sir Dennis was delivering judgments a lot, this kind of thing. The others, I don't know too much. But whoever, the powers that be, must do honest and diligent background checks. First, in terms of legal competence. It's easy to find. Their judgments.
All right.
Yes. If it is not there, you don't just say you have been there for long. See? When you do this, look, let me tell you, I've said it before. A regime comes, picks people over and above competent seniors. There's regime change. The seniors are brought to the Supreme Court. And in their early days, they write either the unanimous judgment or the leading judgments, despite the senior sitting there. This is what can happen. And I mean, it takes merit for that to happen. You come as a senior and the others lay back and you have to write a judgment. Just within the first weeks, these things show. These things show.
Okay. The few other matters I want to touch on before we conclude. There is this issue of President Mahama yesterday was not happy. Was not happy because in February, when he declared his assets, he told all his appointees to do so before the end of March 2025. Now, another media house, the Four Faces, wrote an RTI request. The outcome was that 55 of the president appointees had not declared their assets. So yesterday, at the launch of a code of conduct for members, President Mahama again brought the matter up and said that he's giving them up to the close of day to do so or face the sack. But for punishment, they will lose 3 months of their salary. What do you make of this?
That's an administrative matter.
I mean, the constitution is clear.
I'm coming.
In the declaration of assets.
Yeah, I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. In short, you know, conflict of interest and this code of conduct, there are matters referred to Shiraj, and there are breaches. And Shiraj will investigate and take the appropriate decision. In the case of the commissioner himself, to be the Chief Justice will investigate. That is a provision.
Right.
But it's not as easy as that because the president is the appointing authority. Now, under Article, I think 296 of it says the person who has the power to appoint is a person who is the disciplinary authority. He has power to exercise discipline over the appointee. So this provision is there. I would have, if I were him, I would just let the constitutional provision take its course, you see. But as I said, that other provision which says you who appoint can discipline.
Right.
Well, but I'll caution.
Some say they should have been dismissed outright.
Oh, I'm
coming.
I'm coming.
Presidential directive.
I'm coming. If you don't take care, you are a president, you don't take care, you are too strict and mechanical, you can be pushed to even sacrifice your good materials on things like this. Every provision has its purpose. What's the purpose of the declaration of the assets? It's accountability, transparency. The question is, what explanation has been given by those who failed?
None as of now, at least none in public.
Yeah.
Maybe in private they have done so.
Yes, yes. You see, because this provision is there, but you come and your ministry may have serious challenges. You plunge into this and your mind can be too focused on those challenges, and that's why I say, oh, I'll do it.
But even the constitution says that you should even do it before you even take office.
Yes. No, I think it's on assumption of office. The provision about it says a person who holds a public office mentioned in clause 5 of this article shall submit to the Auditor General a written declaration of all property or assets owned by or liabilities owed by him, whether directly or indirectly. A, within 3 months after the coming into force of this Constitution, or before taking office as the case may be. B, at the end of every 4 years, and C, at the end of his term of office. Failure to declare or knowingly making false declarations shall be a contravention of this Constitution and shall be dealt with in accordance with Article 287 of this Constitution. If I were him, I would let the Constitution take its course, right. As stated, you know. And I'm saying that it's good that he is poised to enforce transparency on them. But when you do things too rigidly, you can cause them. Some of them may be very good materials. Probably they are busy
with other things.
Okay. Trying to, you know, and not that they will not do it. I think their attention should be drawn. And I think it's only in case of blatant recalcitrance that, well, you can dispense.
And my final question will be, there's ongoing process to review the 1992 Constitution.
Yes,
there's a committee that has been set up. What recommendation would you make to this committee?
Oh.
Which aspects of the Constitution require some kind of a review?
Well, I don't think my opinion would be useful because it will certainly not be accepted. I would radically have said the appointing powers of the president to all these important state institutions, whether direct or indirect, should be taken away.
State institutions like for example?
Oh, CJ, Superior Court Judges, Shiraj, Commissioner, NCC, you know, Auditor General Electoral Commission. I mean, look, you say power corrupts, absolute power corrupts, absolutely. It is in human nature to desire more power. So when you tempt somebody with so much that he feels, you're just looking at the power and not the purpose of it. Why must, look, we say democracy is a government of the people, by the people, for the people, of the people. Huh? I don't take care. In the end, you are surrendering power back to one man or just a few people. Don't take care. Is that really democratic? And why must the president need these powers? What we need is good governance. President can be confined to running the economy. Huh? That is sufficient. Like an octopus everywhere. So that's how state capture results. And I said it in respect of the last regime that state capture had been effected. I said it here. Complete state capture. Because of these things. You know, I know they won't accept that. But that's, I don't retreat from that.
That's opposition.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. You vest the power in an independent body. Very independent body. Those top positions. You know, look at Kenya, they have an independent judicial appointment commission. England, you know. But in Africa, you know, people always want to still have their hands and control. I mean, it doesn't advance good governance.
Right.
Where does it take us to? Where?
Your Lordship, thank you so much.
Oh no, that's
for the opportunity.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you too. And of course, this is where we end it. I mean, exciting having this engagement. We'll end it.
Thank you for making time with us today, and we plead with you to continue to be with us till because you have more in store coming your way and you cannot afford to miss out. This is the best place for facts. This is the best place for political authentication. Do stay with us. Thank you.
Dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Ah nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.